This channel is supported by my online fishing courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner, including my new Florida inshore fishing course. This channel is also supported by my books. Remember, those books make great gifts. You can learn more about the books at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon. Hey, this is going to be a really cool video because you're going to get to see what happens when you drop a crab on a jig next to these old docks. And oh man, I love watching this kind of stuff. And there's going to get to be some fishing too. Going to be a little dark in the beginning, and then it'll be fine. Yeah, good morning. Oh my goodness, the wind doesn't stop. It just does not stop blowing. And I got to do something different if I'm going to do any black fishing this fall. All right, so I'm gonna fish docks, harbor docks. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I can pull any size, but yeah, I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. At least I can get out. All right. Okay, green crab's gonna start off dropping on a 3/4 ounce jig. Actually, gonna switch to a 1/2 ounce jig pretty quickly. Water depths are anywhere from 20 to 30 feet. Hey, you see me cutting the crab legs and claws over the water this time. Normally I don't do this, but there's not a lot of current here. What I don't like is if there's a fair amount of current, you cut those legs and claws, you drop them in, they end up way behind the boat. So you're like building the bite away from the boat. I don't want to do that. So a couple of people asked about my previous blackfish video, why I wasn't putting the legs and claws in the water. And that's why. All right. Hey, I'll have links to all of the gear in the video description. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. This is Eastern Long Island. Hey, there will be a little wind noise on here. Not too bad. I do have a windsock on the camera. It's just blowing. I've been in the water like probably 3 minutes. Just one little nibble. Yes, I was down like 3 minutes without hardly a bite. So, and I'm looking at the crab. All the guts are still in there. This looks great. So I'm going to pull the shell. I mean, I leave the shell on a lot because there's so many interference fish. Hey, when you see the underwater video, you're going to understand why I do leave the shell on many times. But hey, in this case, I'm going to take it off, put it back down. Oh, got a bite. Something. There you go. Yeah, it's tiny, but it's a start. It's a start. That's my first harbor. Well, yeah, it's my first harbor blackfish. Yeah. But hey, this is 28 minutes later. It took me 28 minutes to get another fish of any size. But all right, I'm getting bites. It's going to get better. Hey, you see me using these Uncle Mo Fishy hookers a lot. They're awesome. And I think it's called UMT tackle now. It could be. Those are 3 for $17. So good stocking stuffer. And there's a link in the video description along with some other gift ideas because we're coming up on that season.
Okay, lots of bites now. You can see me waiting through all those little taps until a fish swims off with it. That's when you set the hook. Otherwise, you're just swinging at small stuff, and we'll see it underwater.
Oh, that's better. Oh, that feels keeperish. Oh yeah, I'll be surprised if that one's not a keeper. Yep, that's... I'm not keeping, but that's a good one. It's taking me a while, though. Yeah, that's good. Alright, it is doable today.
Yeah, the New York state length limit is 16 inches. I'm measuring it against the rod there. This one would just barely make it. You know, you'd be squeezing the tail. I wouldn't. I'm not keeping fish this trip. Wouldn't keep that one anyway. It's just so close. I really want to get something bigger than that. But hey, I'm bending the rod, so pretty happy given all this wind. So hey, I'm getting hit the whole time here, but nothing big enough to pick it up and swim yet.
Oh, I thought that was bottom. It's gonna be bottom in a second. Oh boy. You know, I just switched over to the half ounce. Oh, okay. Alright, well that's why. But if I was keeping, he'd be in the cooler. I just didn't set on him right. But let's see, let's just get a look. Yeah, he's got the length for sure. Oh, come on, that's a good one. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. There you go. Definitely a legal fish there.
All right, now toss the camera in. Let me tell you what this is. If you look just up above the crab bucket, you can see a yellow thing sitting on the floor. That's the base station. There's a cable between that and the camera that's in my hands. And I do have some weight on that camera that I added. I'm just going to toss that in, and then I can watch the action on my phone, and I can record. It's called the Canfish CF1. I'll have a link in the video description. It's just really simple. You know, you turn this thing on, and okay, right there, if you look in that compartment straight down, my phone is there. All right, so and if you, I think you can actually see, you're going to see a blackfish. They're right there swimming through. So I'm sitting there, I can see what's underneath the dock now, and I can record it. So yeah, that is really cool. It's simple. Like I said, Canfish CF1. Here we go, getting that camera down at the bottom into the zone. Okay, this camera does not have sound, so this is going to be silent. And I do not put music on my channel at all, ever. So you're either going to watch in silence, or there'll be a couple times where I'll just give a little commentary on what's going on there. All right, it's always tough to judge the size. We're going to be able, when we see some porgies, we're going to be able to use those for scale, so that's going to help. There's going to be a zillion small fish. These fish are not as large as they look. I will point out a couple that are good-sized blackfish, but they are really, really far outnumbered. Now, this is a big blackfish coming in from the left, right there. That's a good one, for sure. No question about it. The highlight of the underwater stuff is going to be this, the jig drops. This is what happens when the jig hits the bottom. You think you have a bite. You think there's a fish there. Oh, you're going to see how many fish are there. Okay, one of them picked it up, swam away. Okay, let's do some more. We're going to have a drop. It's going to be just above the camera. I'm going to have some really excellent drops. This one's a little too far to the left, but we're going to see what the storm looks like when the thing, yeah, I mean, it's all these fish piling in there, stirring up the bottom. And yeah, you just saw a little bit of orange there on the left. The jig is like right there. Now, there's one big blackfish in particular we're going to see right there, that one, that big female. We're going to see that one repeatedly. Yeah. Much bigger than the others. Yeah, we'll get to see that one again. All right, this is good. We've got a porgy for scale here. Note the size of the porgy compared to the blackfish. That tells you how small those blackfish are. Now, with all of those blackfish converging on the jig, all of those small ones, wow, that's making it hard to, catch that big female that we just saw go by. It's possible I'm going to hook that blackfish, though, by the end of this trip. That structure, oh, I know, the volcano here, just in front of the camera, you see that big puff. I don't know, a clam. There we go again, another big puff. No idea what that is. I'm guessing a clam now. Oh, there's a visit from a blowfish briefly. Here, the hole's right in front now. Here's the. Okay, now if you look maybe a foot ahead of that, that's a hermit crab. If you look very carefully, you'll see antennas, whiskers, whatever you want to call them, wiggling around. Surprised nobody goes down and eats that thing. Now watch the piling to the left there. Another drop just on the edge. Not much else besides blackfish. Those little guys, those I believe, almost 100% sure, those are juvenile sea bass. There's some really small porgies in there, but there's a regular porgy. Again, we can look at him and judge the size of the other fish by that porgy. Okay, so after that, I couldn't catch any more keepers there, and I see all those little ones on the camera, so I've made a move. Boy, it took a long time to get a bite, but yeah, it's got a decent one. Yeah, I mean, huh. A short, but not that short. So yeah, I waited a long time for that, and then I put down again, and it's just really tough. So all right, put the camera down, see what's going on. All right, this dock's got a lot of structure, like right in front of it. I can imagine a lot of stuff has probably fallen off this dock over the years. To the right there, yeah, I don't know what that is, but there's a lot of stuff to get stuck on. You would think this would be like loaded with blackfish. Yeah, it's not. But yeah, I'm gonna hang in here a little bit. I don't know what that thing is up there. It looks like a barbecue grill or something. All right, this is going to be interesting. If you look to the right, that shadow, that's the dock. I'm right there. I'm right on the edge. And it's porgies. It's going to be just a few blackfish. And note, that blackfish is smaller than the porgies, so that is a really small one. The other guy coming in, he's not that much better. He's bigger, but not a big one. And this is why once you've had a bunch of bites and the bites stop, you can assume, even though if you can feel a bait, I feel the bait. You see that little lift? I know the crab is still on there, or a piece of crab, but look at it. It's all cleaned out, or it's probably, just a little bit of meat in there. Nobody wants that. It's like popcorn. That stuff is popping a lot, and then it slows down. You better stop the popcorn, or else you're going to burn it. It's kind of like the same thing with the crab. You get a lot of bites. It slows down. When it slows down to nothing, get it out of there. Put a new piece on. So hey, I've been here 30 minutes now. You're starting to see more blackfish coming in. That's good. And the reason I even stayed this long was because I just knew I was getting good jig drops. I knew where to put the jig, and so I stayed with it. And yeah, we'll get to see one go with it here. Yeah, so that's a good example of the blackfish picking up, swimming away, and you're going to get to see the top version of that because you'll see me staring at the camera. I knew what was going on down there. You'll see at some point here. I'm looking straight down at the camera a lot. You can't see what's on the camera on the video, but I'm watching that, and I saw those blackfish go in there, and that's when I kind of stopped watching the video and paid attention to the tip of my rod. You know, but again, you know, not a big fish, but big enough to pick it up and swim with it. All right, this dock at this particular time it's a loser. I mean, you know, I caught a couple of small blackfish, and I'm not building anything here. You know, you see that the jig drops are just met with porgies. Okay, I've moved to another part of the original dock. Wow, so the dock I just left had like no blackfish. This one has like too many. I mean, how can you deal with this? I think we'll get to see porgies in there to help scale these, but they're not big. Except coming in from the left is going to be that, I swear it's the same big female we saw earlier. Right there, look at that. That's a big one. I think we'll see her again one more time. Wow. I mean, and this was something I was experiencing. I wasn't getting to the bottom before these guys were all over it. So I went to a whole crab, just a little cut made out of it. You know, there's no winning. Now, worth noting, that whole crab is hanging in there. You know, the legs are on there. They still want to eat this, as opposed to what we saw before with the half a crab that got cleaned out. You know, this is holding together. So this is giving me a chance. It's just, I just don't have anything. I mean, you see that crab jig stayed pretty much in the same place because nobody was picking up and swimming with it, because there's no size to any of these fish. But yeah, I mean, if, you know, that's one thing you can do in this situation when you know you've got a lot of smalls, is, you know, try to go to a whole crab, just crack the shell a little bit, because this is a pretty long period of time that they're real busy with it. And you know what? Maybe if a big hungry one came in there, could bully its way in and get that crab. Okay, and I caught I caught just a couple of smalls there. That's all I got was the smalls. It was. So I got out of there and made another move. So hey, you know what surprised me with the underwater video there? No stripers. And yet I know there's stripers in the harbor. I did get to see a few on top a couple times with a few birds would go on them. So you would think they would be hanging around the docks, but never saw any.
actually. I'm gonna measure because I want to know on this one. I don't think he's good. No, not good. A little better. I don't think it's legal. Ooh. Oh, finally. Oh, and he's in structure, and he's hung. Holy smokes. Ah. Ah. In retrospect, I wish I'd put more pressure on him. I'm trying to wait the fish out. Sometimes if you just give it slack, they'll swim out. Ah. Yeah, no, he didn't hang on the pilings. There's something down there. You know, I don't. It's the first time I've ever fished here, so I don't know where the snags are. And even when I hooked that fish, I was shocked that it hung, but it clearly made enough progress towards the dock to get on whatever is submerged down there. And I gotta wonder if it was that big female, because you know this is the same dock, and you know that fish. I saw it at 2 different times, and yeah, I gotta wonder. Okay. A little better? Oh, come on. I feel like I'm finally on some fish here. All right, there's some better fish now. Still not legal, but not probably short, but not that short. Ah, come on. All right. Just about.
Okay, just those couple of small keepers. But I feel like I caught what was there because I got to see what was there with the underwater video, which I always just find so fascinating to see what's actually going on. And who knows, maybe I did hook that big female. But yeah, always interesting to see what exactly happens when that jig hits the bottom. And again, that's a Canfish CF1 camera. And I'll have a link to that in the video description. All right, if you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you are not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Check out my online courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner, including my new inshore Florida fishing course. And don't forget my books. Remember, those books make great holiday gifts. You can learn more about the books at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon.